Regardless of what you think about live streaming, whether or not you should be live streaming your podcast to various platforms, publishing on YouTube, or just sticking to good old RSS publishing, one thing is undoubtedly clear. You need to go where your audience is. And that is why today I want to talk about exactly how you can live stream your podcast over to Facebook using just a couple of very simple tools. This is a Podcast Accelerator. I'm Mark Asquith, your host, CEO and co-founder, of course, of Rebel Base Media, where we make podcasting products and technology, including Captivate.fm, the world's only growth-oriented podcast host, where you can find out exactly why people are choosing Captivate for their podcast hosting, why it's so easy yet so powerful, and why it's probably the most fairly priced podcast hosting platform on the planet. Go and check it out. You can actually get 7 days free at Captivate.fm. Also, before I dig into the content, a cheeky little shout out to AWeber, my email marketing platform of choice, the people that help me to build my businesses. I've been working with AWeber with my email marketing for 10 years, and ever since day one of my podcasts back in 2013, the reason for that is very clear. They help me to build relationships with you, the ever-present, ever-appreciated, and always valued listener. So if you want to do the same with your audience, go and check AWeber out at markasquith.com/AWeber. Okay, look, there are numerous ways to stream your podcast to Facebook, and there's a debate about whether you should or not. I mean, podcast purists say, well, there's no point putting it on YouTube. There's no point putting it on Facebook. Podcasting is RSS, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But you got to go where your audience is, all right? There's a difference between being a pure podcaster and creating content that everyone can get in the setting that they want. So that's not a debate we're going to have. I'm going to talk to you today about how. If you want to live stream your podcast to Facebook, here is how I do it personally when I do it. Now, it's actually quite simple. So what I'm talking about here is how to do this from a laptop or a desktop computer. I'm not talking about mobile. I'm not talking about iPads, any of that stuff. I'm talking very clearly about how you do this through your computer. So first up, the thing you got to decide is exactly, what do you want to achieve with your podcast live stream? Are you wanting to do something where you can play your music beds or some of your segmentation kind of music beds? Do you want to be able to play ads as opposed to read ads out on there? A couple of little considerations to have, because if you want to do that, you need a way of getting music into the computer on the same kind of channel as your voice. So, as an example, if I wanted to play the Spark Rebellion stuff, I'd need a way of getting it into the audio channel so that it piped into my computer just like this. So you can see this and hear this coming up just in the background. And this is just done through the Rodecaster. Beautiful. Okay, so that's Spark Rebellion's introduction being pushed into the computer via the channel. Now, the way that I do that, of course, is via the Rodecaster Pro. So I've got the Rodecaster Pro linked up. I'm recording into the SD card right now, but it's also linked up to my computer, so it would also play through the computer channels. You could also use a Zoom LiveTrack L8 for this, or if you wanted, you can use some online software. You can use some very, very simple software just to link that up. And there are 1,000 different bits of software out there that let you do this. But my recommendation is if you have the hardware, just do it via the hardware, because there's no real reason to mess around with setting a pile of software up just to get your intro music in. I think it's too much work for not much return. Okay, so my view with this is if you have a Rodecaster or a Zoom LiveTrack L8 or something else like that, an interface that will allow you to have music beds in there, use that, and it will allow you then in your computer to kind of have all those channels available to you. If you don't have that, I would just live stream straight to Facebook without the intro music. I don't see any need to mess around with software. Yes, we can get into that. It's just a more advanced topic. And I think for the vast majority of podcasters, all they want to do is engage with their audience. Okay. So what I then use to do that is I will use one of two bits of software. Now, what I never do is just go live on Facebook. And I am just talking about Facebook here. Obviously, we could have this conversation about Twitter and Instagram and LinkedIn and all the other ones, YouTube. But we're just talking Facebook here because it's a question that comes up a heck of a lot. So I use one of two pieces of software depending on my needs, okay? I don't ever go directly into Facebook. I don't think it gives you the flexibility that you need. So I either use one of the following, okay? Ecamm, E-C-A-M-M, Ecamm Call, Ecamm Live, Ecamm Call Recorder is another thing. Ecamm Live, okay? Great bit of software. And I really like it. However, I do feel that it feels a little complex with the way that it works. So on a Mac in particular, it kind of overlays a lot of different windows. So it can be quite difficult for a new starter streamer to really understand what's going on. So I do like Ecamm Live. I highly recommend it. However, I think the easiest way to do this, and this is not an affiliate, and I'm not affiliated with these guys in any way, I also use StreamYard. So StreamYard, you can use it for free, or there's a paid version. The free version is absolutely fantastic. The only sacrifice you have to make, which is the main thing, is you have to have their logo in the top corner, which is completely fine. Okay, now, I would use StreamYard over Ecamm as a starter purely because it's just an easier interface. Everything is in browser. Everything is just there ready for you. It's very well designed. The interface is excellent. And you can do a heck of a lot with it, all right? You can do a heck of a lot with it. Most of the features you can do with Ecamm, like overlaying comments and so on and so forth. But ultimately, the reason that I like StreamYard for this is because I believe it just makes that interface a little easier to understand, and it's a lot clearer for a brand new live streamer. Now, I'm not going to talk about, why you should publish to Facebook or why you shouldn't publish to Facebook. That's a debate for another day. I don't want to talk too much about formats, but what I will say is what I tend to do. So for all rebel-based media podcasters, that's to say podcasters that use Captivate.fm, podcast websites, or Podcast Success Academy, what I do is I do a live kind of video in the Rebel-Based Media Support and Experience group. We've got a Facebook group, which is just for Rebel-Based Media podcasters using our products. And what I do is every week when we do a feature release, I'll play this music in. So what I will do is I will basically play in the Captivate Insider release music, which is this. You can hear that coming up now. And it's just the Captivate Insider introduction. But what I do is, prior to doing this, I go live in the Facebook group and I basically tell them, hey guys, welcome to the group. I'm just about to record Captivate Insider, which is an audio podcast telling you exactly what we've released this week for Captivate.fm. However, because you are a Rebel-Based Media podcaster, you actually get some behind-the-scenes access. You get to see me in the studio recording this, and we get to have a little bit of chat before I record the episode. You get to watch me record the episode, and we have a chat afterwards. So I do something really, really cool with that. It's really quite nifty to be able to do that, and I really enjoy doing that. So it adds extra value into the group. What I would say for you is don't worry too much about that format. Basically, what you want to do is just record your podcast as you normally do it. But you're essentially just a lot of the time doing this live so that people can engage with you. So how to do that is quite simple. Use your current mic rig. Yes, we could get into how you stream music and other audio pieces in via other bits of software to your Facebook Lives. But if you don't have that facility right now, just to get started with live streaming into Facebook, don't worry about it, all right? If you have hardware, if you have a Rodecaster Pro, if you have a Zoom Live Track L8, fine. Use that and essentially do your show live as you normally would. That's all good, okay? But what I'm trying to do here is make it easy for you. Next, you could use something like Ecamm Live, which is great software. However, my preference right now for you maybe getting started with this is just to use StreamYard, all right? StreamYard is a fantastically simple tool. The interface is much nicer, much easier to understand, and it just helps you to get started very quickly. You could get started with StreamYard right now, all right? So go and check that out, StreamYard, and just have a go with it, all right? We live in these weird times right now, not just because we're kind of mostly locked down across the world because of COVID-19, but just mainly because ultimately what we're trying to do as a podcaster is engage with our audience. So forget the fact that everyone's live streaming more because of COVID. How can you pull this into your strategy if you want to, if you need to engage with your audience in a much nicer way, all right? That's what I would just suggest you do. Just think that through. How can you do that? And let me know if you need a hand at Mr. Asquith. You've got my email address, mark@rebelbasedmedia.io. So until the next time, thank you for joining me, and never, ever forget, the more you expect from yourself, the more you will excel.